why do the values of altcoins follow Ethereum so closely?
That's a great question. That's another one where I will yet again just to visualize it a bit more. I'll bring up the screen here. So the the thing I always talk about with people, and I usually actually do this through like visualizing coin market cap. You know, actually, right now, this is actually a great example here. It's not always the case, right? But, generally speaking, as you go to the list here on CoinMarketCap, what's really interesting is that you go from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Cardano. Notice how, as the currency and market cap, not per se price, but market cap or total value decreases, the decline generally decreases as well. And vice versa, the smaller the play in this case versus the large, sorry, I'll do that again. If you're in an upward move in the market, right, in this case, generally speaking, not always, generally speaking, you'll have higher returns. Cardano is much more likely probably to double in value in this case than Bitcoin is, as a $67 billion cryptocurrency versus an $814 billion, which Bitcoin is, right? So you have basically markets of scale, right? And this can help to understand in this case a very broad concept here that the markets generally move together because of capital flows. So when people first invest in crypto markets, they're usually going to invest in Bitcoin, right? And historically speaking, investors make a return to some degree, right? They buy Bitcoin, maybe let's say at $37,000 back here during July. Maybe they sell it here at 46,000. So they make some kind of return here, right? And once you get more comfortable with crypto and you start learning about alternative options in the market, it's in my mindset, of the way I explain it is it's like going from investing solely in, General Electric to going into investing into Apple, and then going into invest in companies like Nvidia, and you start going into smaller market capitalization ranges, more high risk companies doing alternative things, ones that are younger than the large companies, in this case like Apple, right? And people start to kind of delve into these other plays and take the returns they've made in previous cryptos they've held into smaller cap cryptocurrencies. So if we're thinking about it in like a really like surface level viewpoint, imagine if you could visualize the market. Capital is flowing in from cash, whether it be dollars, euros, British pounds, Chinese yuan, Japanese yen, Korean, right? All these different types of currencies. And they're going into the core big assets, in this case, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a lot of the assets we offer get paid in crypto. And then they start to trickle in into some of the other plays in the market. And that's what leads when Ethereum is getting traction. This is kind of a precursor sign in this case that altcoins are going to generally be going up as well to some degree. Doesn't mean that they'll outpace Ethereum, doesn't mean that they're going to underperform, but generally they're going to follow on an uptrend with Ethereum and Bitcoin performing well. And it's why when we enter into bear markets, you're rarely ever going to find, it's usually that we get one last exhausted altcoin rally at the end of the cycle, like we did back here when Bitcoin was topping out in 2017. January was a great period of time for altcoins, and it proves to our thesis. Once Bitcoin is making euphoric returns, then the liquidity cycles and goes into altcoins because people are basically trying to capture all these opportunities. It's the max point of euphoria and excitement and risk taking. But as Bitcoin generally goes down 80 something percent in a bear market, right? Like we see here, from this date range, January 2018 to December 2018, take a look at altcoin dominance. And you can find this on TradingView by typing 100 minus BTC.D. You can see during that same exact time period, from January of 2018, right, we dropped from around 63% market dominance, a high of 64.59%, downward. I think it was over, let's see here, over here, yes, to 40% market dominance. Sorry, I have a logarithmic chart, so you can't see it too well, down to this range. And it continued to bleed as Bitcoin set in its bottom. So I'll show a good visualization here of comparing it. So we can pull up, compare Bitcoin USD to a new pane below. So this is Bitcoin's chart here. And you can see that as Bitcoin generally rose, in this case on price, altcoin dominance followed, right? So we have the peak here in December 2017. The peak was really around, if we viewed it on a shorter term time frame, it's more around 20K. So it's a little bit higher than this. But you can see that altcoins only started to move in the later phases as Bitcoin was already starting to garner some traction, right? As Bitcoin was already starting to make an uptrend. And then also when Bitcoin enters into a bear market, altcoins get hit, and they also usually get hit further, at least according to what we have to work with the history, when Bitcoin makes a rebound, right? Because overall altcoin dominance, even though altcoins might be moving up with Bitcoin, Bitcoin is appreciating faster and therefore is garnering more ownership of the market in this case. We could actually probably something better to look at here would be total 2, which is the altcoin total market cap. And we can see here that even as we go towards the lows, it starts moving up with Bitcoin, right? So it doesn't mean that if Bitcoin's going up at the start, altcoins can't move higher as well, but they're not going to be moving as fast because people need to be making those returns in Bitcoin, the more safer assets, and it starts to trickle down into the altcoin market from Ethereum all the way down to a variety of alternative cryptocurrencies. So hopefully that explains it. Again, it's not financial advice by any means, because that's just my interpretation of how the markets work overall.